Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me and letting the government speak about its ways in which it is trying to take the digital agenda forward. Only yesterday, I was looking at these advertisements from Intel, which was very well said, and it said, and I quote, "The data era has come, be ready." I think "be ready" is a very apt word, and I would like to place how the government is being ready. Of course, the pinnacle is on Monday the 13th, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is going to lay the foundation stone by dedicating 100 acres of precious urban land to the cause of technology, to the cause of a Silicon Valley, Bengal Silicon Valley project. Monday, this part of being ready will be part of a scheme in which, for example, in Noihati, in Falta, in Sonarpur, hardware parks are being set up. Plug and play hardware parks where all you need to do is to make these things in these given parks. Across Bengal, there are 16 IT parks where fantastic work is going on. I met this person, young person, in Asansol, who left a job in Singapore and is doing a phenomenal work in data science using Fibonacci series, and he says he can predict with 80% accuracy what you're going to buy next on the Amazon. And we are getting ready by preparing ourselves for the emerging technologies. Every month, the government of West Bengal organizes knowledge workshop. Knowledge workshop on IoT, knowledge workshop on blockchain, knowledge workshop on artificial intelligence, every month without fail, where best speakers across the country and sometimes beyond come in. The next, incidentally, is on September, and this will be on fintech. We are being ready by making lots of use cases in the government sphere on blockchain. We like to say Bengal is for blockchain. Bengal means blockchain. While we are equally interested in 3D printing, we are going to announce something very shortly. We are interested in animation. Very recently, the Webel, which is part of government, has signed an agreement with DQE Animation Academy, and 20 students have started learning. And we are experimenting, and we are going to showcase, I hope, in the blockchain congress that is scheduled on the 10th and 11th of December, about cases in which human records, starting from birth to death, from school certificate to job and career prospects, will be all written for all of us in a blockchain. It should be so easy for everybody to have an unalterable digital human record. We are already working towards it. We are getting ready by stressing on by setting up an artificial intelligence committee within the government to see use cases that are needed in the public sphere. In a Computex fair that I was attending a month and a half ago at Taiwan, it is said to be the second largest IT conference in the whole world. I was invited there, and there was this group on blockchain, and a global leader from IBM was talking there. And he says that while there are 500 plus use cases in blockchain, there is no business case, which means, can you make money out of it? It is yet to make a breakthrough. We, of course, leave aside cryptocurrencies and bitcoins separately, which are not interested in. But in government, we are seeing that there is a huge potential in preventing in financial frauds. We are all aware of the scheming that is happening now in the ATMs. How blockchain can prevent financial misdeeds. And therefore, in the fintech, which will be the subject of the September workshop, knowledge workshop organized by us, and in the December workshop on blockchain, we are trying to build this together for the benefit of the financial world, so as to protect the common citizen. And this brings to my second thought. The second thought, other than being ready, what the government is doing, IT park, clusters, Silicon Valley, electronic manufacturing hubs, talent making, triple IT in Kalyani, where the state government is one of the states. The other part of what I would like to say is about being inclusive. We are organizing a Bengalathon, a hackathon of sorts, where anybody can give on certain topics, compete, and this is to energize the youths who are doing this. And one of the problem statements that we have given this time is the last mile connectivity using apps. Ola apps or Uber apps for the totos. You can say, what is so great about it? You can always, substitute the word Uber by Toto or e-rickshaw, whatever we want to call it. And we like Toto and Uber because it is battery-driven, non-polluting, green. But the problem is, Bharat is not India. While I and you may have smartphones, the persons who drive the Totos very often do not have a smartphone. Most often they don't even have a feature phone, but some old Nokia or some old Chinese, very cheap kind of a thing. How do you get this segment into the digital net? Your smart application is not going to work there. So probably a kind of solution that we are looking at is that the customer has a smartphone. He gets to a command and control center, and a small Bengali or Hindi or whatever Indian language SMS or voice command goes to the Toto driver, and he is also in this marketplace. Talking of language, this is another area of being inclusive. We are very, very interested in having automatic voice-like human translation. And it is not only for being inclusive, but also for bringing in investments. In the Japan, for example, for years together, not a single Indian was allowed to get in the technology sector just because they did not know Japanese. They are very, very rigid on this. Very recently, I forget the name, probably some Mr. Agarwal, has just been taken in for his great talent. The CEO of the Japanese company was so impressed that he took him in, and he also picked up some kind of a rudimentary Japanese in the short run. So I was thinking, why not we all have our Apple's Siris and Google Assistants and Alexas and other kind. If we can have a system which can simultaneously translate, as I speak to you, I speak in English, how are you? And you reply in Bengali, bhaloi to achi. Now this will really open up investments. I was talking to the Taiwanese investors who have trillions of dollars of investment in China, and they said one of the reasons was the language deficiency. So therefore, we are also wanting that while we need to have developed technologies that are inclusive, that the Toto driver can follow and use, a voice-activated, India understandable, Banglaয় বোঝা যাবে, Banglaয় command দেওয়া যাবে, হিন্দিতে command দে सकते हैं, why can't we make it? There was such a hue and cry when Sundar Pichai this year in the annual event, he talked about getting an appointment fixed for cutting hair. I'm sure I can see a few heads nodding and smiling. This is the achievement Google world is touting to the world, that I have been able to make a saloon appointment through a Google Assistant. Yes, okay, no problem, but also let us use our language, let's have it. And therefore, in the government, we have a Society of Natural Language, Society for Natural Language Development. And we are trying in bits and pieces. It's a very, very difficult problem in artificial intelligence. We don't pretend to say that we have the wherewithal, but we have identified this problem, and we are trying to find out ways in which we can have voice-activated, Bangla-activated, artificial intelligence-enabled commands and devices that will make the fuchka wala in your locality as adept at using technology and getting the benefits of technology as I and you are getting. And therefore, in this philosophy of being ready and being inclusive, and the third and the last, and I won't speak much, I can see also my time running out, is the last thing is doing good. As you all know, some time back there were some full-page advertisement by WhatsApp saying, don't believe in fake news, misinformation, divisive forces, these are social ills. And therefore, it was said that why don't you, take precautions, look at spelling mistakes, look at, if your image is kind of morphed or something like that. Why can't somebody come up with a technology solution which will be able to do that instead of waiting on judgments of individual people who would be very swayed by a very, very disturbing headline? Mind you, this is one of the great problems that is facing India. These lynchings that is happening throughout the country, the various kinds of communal disturbances that are being instigated by outside terrorists. Is there no way technological solution? There is. There is, I recently find out, I was looking for this for a long time, and there is this apps that has been just launched in UK called Logically. It's by an Indian, his name is Lyric Jain. And what he does is he uses artificial intelligence in seeing whether there is a dissonance between the headline and the content, whether there are obvious grammatical mistakes, how the author, by getting into the metadata, how the author is behaving or his reputation is in the social network world. These are factors that are being pulled in for informing people, okay, this is a news, but please see the rating by us, please see the apps Logically. I am no proponent, it's not even available in India. It is supposed to come in October. But what I'm saying is, these are the kinds of inclusive, be good kind of technologies that the government is looking for. And for giving rise to all these factors, we from the government are making the base ready. We are trying to be ready. By creating talent, by nurturing talent, by creating and using the research scholars in teaching what are the new technologies to our youngsters, because very often existing educational institutions may not know what is the latest in reverse backpropagation neural technology techniques. And also, of course, we are working very closely with educational institutions and centers of excellence such as the Indian Statistical Institute, IIT, IIM, and many others. So I would end my submission by saying that digital success cannot only be defined by the profitability or the business sense. Digital success is not only whether your profit margins are increasing. Digital success also means, is it inclusive? Is it making more opportunities for youth? Is it doing more good than harm to a large section of the society? And into these objectives and goals, the government is dedicated. And I remind you for a second time that on Monday at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee will be dedicating 100 acres of land in Kolkata, in New Town, Kolkata Rajarhat, towards the development and forward marching of technology. That is being ready for the future. Thank you.